Azure Policy is a service in Microsoft Azure that allows you to create, assign, and manage policies. These policies enforce different rules and effects over your resources, ensuring those resources stay compliant with your corporate standards and service level agreements. Azure Policy helps to bring governance to your Azure environment by providing a way to control and manage the resources in a consistent manner. Governance in cloud computing is crucial for maintaining control over your environment. Without proper governance, organizations can face issues such as security vulnerabilities, compliance risks, and cost overruns. Azure Policy plays a key role in governance by enabling organizations to enforce rules and standards across their Azure resources, ensuring that all resources comply with corporate policies and regulatory requirements. Azure Policy consists of several core components: policy definitions, initiatives, assignments, and compliance. Policy definitions are the rules you want to enforce. Initiatives are collections of policy definitions. Assignments apply policy definitions or initiatives to specific scopes, such as subscriptions or resource groups. Compliance helps you track the state of your resources against the policies. Creating a policy definition involves specifying the conditions under which the policy is enforced and the effect that is triggered when the conditions are met. For example, you can create a policy that requires all storage accounts to use secure transfer. The effect could be to deny the creation of any storage account that does not meet this requirement. Initiatives allow you to group multiple policy definitions into a single unit. This is useful for managing and assigning policies that are related or that need to be applied together. For example, you can create an initiative for security best practices that includes policies for encryption, secure transfer, and network security. This makes it easier to manage and enforce related policies. Once you have created policy definitions and initiatives, you can assign them to specific scopes. Scopes can be as broad as an entire subscription or as narrow as a single resource group. Assigning policies ensures that the rules are enforced on all resources within the specified scope. This helps maintain compliance and governance across your Azure environment. Policy effects determine what happens when a policy condition is met. Common effects include deny, which prevents a resource from being created or modified if it does not comply with the policy, and audit, which logs non-compliant resources without blocking them. Other effects include append, modify, and deploy if not exists, each providing different ways to enforce compliance. Azure Policy provides a compliance dashboard that helps you monitor the compliance state of your resources. The dashboard shows which resources are compliant and which are not, along with details about the specific policies they violate. This visibility helps you identify and address compliance issues quickly, ensuring that your environment remains secure and compliant. In addition to monitoring compliance, Azure Policy also supports remediation tasks. These tasks help you bring non-compliant resources into compliance. For example, if a policy requires all virtual machines to have a specific tag, a remediation task can automatically apply the required tag to any non-compliant VMs. This helps maintain compliance without manual intervention. Azure Policy supports policy as code, allowing you to manage policies using code and version control systems. This approach enables you to automate policy management, integrate policies into your CI/CD pipelines, and ensure consistency across different environments. Using policy as code also makes it easier to track changes and collaborate on policy development. Azure Policy is used in various real-world scenarios to enforce compliance and governance. For example, organizations use Azure Policy to ensure that all resources are tagged correctly for cost management, enforce security standards such as encryption and secure transfer, and comply with regulatory requirements like GDPR and HIPAA. These use cases demonstrate the versatility and importance of Azure Policy in managing Azure environments. To get the most out of Azure Policy, follow best practices such as starting with built-in policies, using initiatives to group related policies, regularly reviewing compliance reports, and automating remediation tasks. Additionally, leverage policy as code to integrate policy management into your development workflows. These practices help ensure that your Azure environment remains secure, compliant, and well-governed. Azure Policy is a powerful tool for enforcing governance and compliance in your Azure environment. By creating, assigning, and managing policies, you can ensure that your resources adhere to corporate standards and regulatory requirements. With features like initiatives, compliance monitoring, remediation tasks, and policy as code, Azure Policy provides a comprehensive solution for managing and governing your Azure resources effectively.